If you're already one of Planiversity's customers, or you're thinking about getting Planiversity for yourself or someone else, you might be wondering to yourself, when is the best time to actually use their service, right? Because we don't actually advertise that. And some people might want to know, when does somebody actually use a travel planning service? I mean, obviously, if you want to buy a plane ticket, you're going to buy it early. If you want to book a hotel room, you might book it early, especially depending on when you're traveling. But when would you actually use a travel planning service? We're getting into that today. What's up, everyone? Eric Allen, founder of Planiversity, back with you again for the second episode of the year 2023 to talk about when is the best time to use Planiversity. Now, as stated in the intro, one of the things that we don't really know is when actually do you start putting together a travel plan? I mean, obviously, if you're traveling during Christmas time frame or during the high season in the summer, maybe during Memorial Day weekend, 4th of July weekend, something like that, or spring break time frame, ticket sales are going to be up, especially when we're talking about airfare. So if you decide that you want to fly during that time, you're probably not going to wait till within 30 days out from that window to actually buy the plane ticket, right? You're going to buy that as soon as possible, as soon as you can confirm your dates, because you want to lock in the lowest price. And, to be honest with you, those prices, as many know, they go up the closer you get. So you might spend, 6 months out, you might spend a little time researching your travel dates, and you see that a plane ticket from Philadelphia to Denver costs you about $250. And then you wait until a month and a half, a month out, and you find all of a sudden now that ticket price has gone up to closer to $400, right? You don't want that to happen. So what you end up doing is you purchase your plane ticket long in advance. You might do the same thing with a hotel room. If you're traveling to Florida during spring break, which a lot of people do, you might have to book in advance, because a lot of hotels, especially depending on the area, if you're talking Orlando, Tampa, Miami, might have a high occupancy rate. So one of the things you want to do is you want to get that hotel room rate locked in as soon as you can, right? But those are just parts of the booking process. That's not the actual planning process, right? There is two fundamental aspects of travel. One is the booking phase, and the other is the planning phase. And for us at Planiversity, we specialize in the planning phase. But we don't really tell you when the best time to actually plan is. So I'm going to tell you that today, right? And there's three things that I brought it down to. Really two things, but three things that we brought it down to. And one, and the most obvious answer is, when you already have the idea that you're going to be traveling, you can already start the planning. Because the great thing about Planiversity is that you can actually begin your plan and you can just continue to modify it as time goes on. So maybe you want to start your plan 3 months out, and you don't have your plane ticket yet, but then you have your plane ticket 2 months out. So once you have that plane ticket itinerary, or that flight itinerary, or that hotel room itinerary, that's when you can drop it into the document section of Planiversity. If you don't have that yet, it's not a big deal. But you can actually start the planning process months in advance. If I know for spring break that I'm going to be going to San Diego, California, and right now it's January 13th, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to get myself ready to go. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's so far out. I mean, honestly, it is a few months out. So what am I going to do? Am I going to really start planning right now? It seems so far out, but honestly, yes, why not? At least you can start arranging that. Maybe you don't have the itinerary information yet. Maybe you don't have your flight itinerary, or you don't have a hotel itinerary. But the good thing that you can do with our service is you can actually go in, you can start the plan, and you can just walk away from it unfinished, and the system is automatically going to save your progress. So if you need to keep coming back in 3, 4, 5, 6 times times. It doesn't matter. You can always update your packet. And then when you're finally ready to export it, when you finally have all of the information that you want introduced into your plan, you just go ahead, get to the end, customize it, export it, boom, you've got your travel plan and you're ready to go, right? Now, another thing that I would like to say is, if you absolutely don't see yourself as the type of person who needs to plan months out, then you just plan within 30 days. If you know that you're getting ready to take a flight in 2 weeks, that could be perfectly fine for you, right? You might be one of those people that's like, cool, I've got my flight, I've got my hotel, I've got my car rental booked. Now I just need to actually get a plan of how I'm getting from the airport to my Airbnb, or how I'm getting from the airport to my hotel. Am I taking the train? Am I driving my rental car? Where's the hospital around that area? What's the weather looking like when I get there? How do I consolidate my documents? I mean, there's so many questions, so many things. And how about, what is there to do there? I'm going to San Diego. I've never been to San Diego. I've been to San Diego, but I've never been to San Diego in this scenario. And you don't know what there is to do there. You don't know what kind of events are going on. You don't know what kind of attractions they have, and you want to kind of get an idea. And instead of just going online and Googling, what are things that I can do in San Diego? Now you could actually go to Planiversity and you could say, all right, I'm going to do this. I want to do this. I'm going to drop this here. I'm going to go over here. And you can actually build that in the plan section. And as a matter of fact, soon we're going to even have the event section, which means you can go in there, you can see whatever the top attractions are for wherever you're going. You could say, I'm going to Orlando, I'm going to Miami, I'm going to New York, doesn't matter. What are the top attractions there? And we will list those out for you. And the only thing you got to do is just click them and add them to your plan, just like that. So if you're the type of person who likes to wait. If you're the type of person who likes to start early, like very early, you can always do so. Until you hit that export button in Planiversity, you can go back as many times as you need to and continue to edit that packet, to add to it, to take away, to change a note, to change something in the schedule, to add something to the schedule, to click on different resources, to find different plans, things to do. You can do those up until the last minute, and that's the great thing about it. Number two reason is, or the number two best time to use Planiversity is within that few weeks. So if you are the type of person who likes to just do it far in advance, that's absolutely fine. If you like to do it as soon as you have an idea of where you're going, that's absolutely fine. But what I would recommend, if this is me actually taking the trip, is I'm probably doing it about 2 weeks out. Why? Because now I'm getting close. I'm getting really close to my window. The idea of going on this trip is getting closer to the front of my brain, which means I'm actually starting to think about it more than I had a month earlier, because a month earlier, it was still like 6 weeks out. I didn't have to worry about it. I'm focused on my work. I'm focused on my day-to-day, whatever I'm doing, but I'm not focused on what I'm going to be doing in 2 weeks or on my trip that's coming up. But now that I'm within that 2 week window, things are fresh in my head. Things I'm starting to think about, like, hey, cool. I've been telling people that I'm going to San Diego, and somebody mentioned that I need to check out this beach, and that I need to check out SeaWorld, that I need to go hiking on this trail, like all these little things. I need to go see this site. Like, all these things are starting to come to the front of your mind because you're getting closer to that window. So you're thinking about it a lot more. You might have been sharing that information with people who are starting to say, hey, if you're going there, make sure you check out this. Make sure you check out that restaurant. Make sure you go to this area. It's beautiful at night, that type of thing. So now everything's fresh in your mind. You've probably already got your plane ticket booked. You've probably already got your hotel room booked. You've probably already got the rental car reserved. All these things are finally, these pieces of information are starting to come together. Now the only thing you have to do is plan and organize, which means you go into Planiversity, you start a new plan, you get in there, you update all of your information, you input all of your itinerary, you build your notes, your schedule, your resources, your weather, whatever you want. You add all those documents, and now when you're ready to go, you just export it, okay? And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is, when would you not want to, right? I know I said 3 things, but really those 2 things are the biggest thing. Is you can start it if you're an early planner. You can start it if you're within a few weeks out. But when you don't want to start it is when it's already too late. When you're the night before, yeah, you're starting to plan. I'm not saying don't plan the day before, but if you're the type of person who wants to plan the day before, you're already adding to the stress level that you're going to have, all right? Travel, is almost always stressful. Even for seasoned travelers like myself, I'm on the go every month. I'm moving, I'm flying, I'm doing something, but it's still never absolutely stress-free, because you still have to deal with the people taking forever to get on the airplane. You still have to deal with the stress of, am I going to get to my destination on time? You still have to deal with the issue of, hey man, once I get to my destination, the weather's terrible. Now that drive that I have to the house or to wherever has just gone from 45 minutes to an hour and a half because everybody's slowing down in the rain. There's always something. I've never had a trip just go perfectly seamless. It could be that everything is going great, and then all of a sudden it just happens to be one of those scenarios where I'm sitting at that place in the airplane where they say, hey, we're out of chicken and we only have pasta left. I don't know, but there's always something, right? So if you're the type of person who likes to plan at the last minute, not saying that we're not for you, but this is going to be the time that's least ideal for you to start planning. You want to start planning when you're close, but not too close, but all the things that you have an idea that you want to do, that you've already got the accommodations in place. You've got your hotel, you've got your plane, you've got your rental car, and now you want to just start putting together a plan of what you're going to do when you get on the ground there. But don't wait till the day before. You're just going to stress yourself out. You can do it. You can absolutely do it with us. And that's the beauty of it, is if you actually have something coming up the next day and you didn't plan for it, it's very impromptu. You might be a salesperson. You might be a traveling nurse. You might be someone in this lane. And all of a sudden now you're like, crap, I got to go tomorrow. I don't even have a plan. I just got a plane ticket. That's all I know. Well, that's the beauty of Planiversity, is that you can actually jump on there and you could throw all this information together at the very last minute, export it. Now you've got a well-organized plan in your hands, but that's not how you want to do it if you're looking to have a very fulfilling experience. If you're looking to have, that trip with the friends, that family vacation, whatever kind of event you're going to have, just make sure that you do it close enough to the time of departure, but far enough in advance where if you need to change something, if you need to update something, if something catches your eye that doesn't seem right and you need to adjust it, you have time. So again, the most ideal time to use Planiversity is within that 2-week window of you departing to go to your destination. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please hit us up, plans@planiversity.com. We love helping people. We love answering questions. And hey, we'll even address a specific question that you have on the podcast if there's something you want to hear addressed. So please reach out to us. Otherwise, travel safe. We'll talk again soon.